Just thank you for joining us. This is Breathe and Meditate with Candy and you. I'm so grateful for you and grateful for everyone that's on this platform right now. And let's begin by taking a breath of gratitude. Wherever you are, maybe bring your hands to your heart if you can, and close your eyes. And an invitation just to take a big breath in. So inhale in. And then exhale out your mouth. Yeah, and maybe that was your first conscious breath all day. So a moment to be grateful for your breath. And then let's practice gratitude. So what are you grateful for? You want to feel it. Feel those feelings as though, they're here now. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my children and so much more. Awesome. And then you can open your eyes. I want to introduce Adam.
My name's Adam. I'm very excited to be here with you today, all of you. So just real quick about the studio. Yes, we're our focus is we're a community center, although we do teach yoga. The studio has been around for over 20 years. It was started by a good friend of mine. She started the studio because she really wanted to share the practices of yoga and Buddhist meditation, because they were very important in her own journey of healing and recovery from cancer and being a person in addiction recovery. And those are things she's very public about, so I can share those with you. But that was, a crux of the foundation of putting together the studio was she wanted to create a space in the community that offered people access to these practices because they're so supportive and so healing. And when I moved to the Port St. Lucie area, that was the first studio that I ever practiced at. I became really good friends with the owner. We practiced together for many years. I taught there. And a few years ago, I had the opportunity to take over the studio. It had changed hands just once since then. Um, but I'm very honored to have the torch passed to me and to carry the mantle. And we do want to expand the services. I'm also a massage therapist. So, as Candy said, we do a lot of different kinds of stuff in the community. We have a salt room now. We do massage. We do all kinds of stuff. We like to focus on sound healing and energetic work, breath work. We do lots of drum workshops, lots of sound baths, lots of things like that. And our focus is also really to make yoga accessible and supportive for all people. And so I think what Candy was trying to say is that, we really, really, really want to make sure that no matter who you are and what experience you have or don't have, that when you come to the studio, you feel safe. And that there is some way in that feels doable, it feels friendly, and it feels accessible. And so, we specialize in working with people who've never done any kind of yoga practices before, or who, some of this stuff feels like a little woo-woo, or people get a little nervous because they're not sure if it's in alignment with their religion or their spiritual path. And we want to be able to bridge all of those places and connect with all people. I think my mindful tip for today that I'd like to share um, is just kind of on that note. I think a lot of times people are searching, 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 and I think it's beautiful to be in that space where you're on a healing journey, you're trying everything, you're going here, you're going there. But I think as a seeker, for deep healing, personal healing, one of the things that for me in my experience has been most powerful is to just pick one thing. Just pick one thing and to do it consistently. And the reason I say that is, I lean a lot into if you want to know what's right and true, look to the ancient teachings, right? And one of the ancient teachings about yoga in particular says that, the practice of yoga should be done every day. It should be done every day. And that, progress in our yogic practice comes both with, dedication and consistent practice. Now, yoga is, defining yoga can be complicated, but, like which practices are considered yoga and where do they come from and how do they develop and all of that. I don't think it matters. I think that yoga is something that when you connect with yourself, mind, body, spirit, and you're really fully present, you're going to experience yoga and you'll know yoga when it's happening. You'll be like, whoa, I just had this experience. And you'll know what it is. And it's important that everybody finds that experience themselves because it doesn't matter if you can define it for somebody else. Prove to anybody who had it. It's about being in that as much as possible. So I think if you find a practice, whatever the practice is, if it's drumming, if it's singing, if it's dancing, if it's oming, if it's doing an asana practice, you're doing vinyasa, if you're laying in restorative with all your props, whatever the thing is that you find even one time makes that aha moment happen for you, even if it's really simple, even if it's just that mindful breath, that taking that moment and pausing and making that your practice, um, do it every day. Whatever it is, do it every day because it's that earnest practice of consistency that is going to really build that reservoir of wellness in your life.
Thank you so much. I think that's a paramount statement to really say is to, first of all, find what makes you feel authentic. That's what and then when you're practicing it, try to do it consistently, right? And I really like that. So something that feels true to yourself, whether it's painting, Barbara, or drawing or, being out in nature. And that's just also science as well. Anything we do consistently becomes a habit. And that also can play on to the negative piece, right? If we're constantly doing something that's not healthy or not for our highest good, that's that consistency that we don't even know we're probably doing it consistency, but that's the awareness today, an invitation to really, see something that you feel that feels good for your heart, that's authentic, like Adam's talking about, and do it to honor yourself, to honor that divinity within and to do it daily, even if it's just for a minute. Um, because that's the power of loving yourself. And just do a little mindful breathing before we close. We have a couple minutes. And so an invitation, if you want to put your hands on your heart, you can, or you could just sit up straight. But we can just go ahead and we'll practice that 3, 2, 4. Just again, breathing in for 3, pausing for 2, and exhaling out for 4. That's the simple breathing technique. The invitation today is when that we are pausing between the breath is to recognize the pause between the breath, to identify your breath is stopping, and then to identify the actual exhale as that pause. And when we pause, what we're doing is we're help marrying the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system, the fight and flight and the rest and digest. Those two nervous systems actually pair when we pause. So try to pause today when you are breathing today to help marry those two nervous systems in your body. And it also helps with just bringing more oxygen into your body. So with that, now that I've done the explanation, let's go ahead and begin. But I think it's important to understand why. When you stop and pause, when you hold that breath, notice the pause and then just remember that you're helping your nervous system, which to me, the why is really important. So let's take a calming breath in through our nose. So inhale in, 1, 2, 3. Pause the breath. And then gently exhale out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale in. 1, 2, 3. Pause. And then gently exhale out. 1, 2, 3, 4. One last time. So inhale in and pause. And then exhale out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And this is just a moment to take to yourself, just to tune in to, again, loving yourself, being consistent with what feels good to you and doing that to honor yourself. And then maybe an invitation for you today to even honor maybe what you're doing that does not really serve your highest good. Are you watching too much TV? Sometimes binge eating or, whatever we do to band-aid our emotions, we all do it. So, and then just send love to yourself and an invitation just to send love out to the world again, one more time. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Adam, I just want to thank you again for, sharing your wisdom with us and the tip, and also having such a beautiful wellness center in our community, and for just being you and all of the teachers that you have in the community you serve. I'm really grateful for that. I love seeing you. I want to see you more. That you're one of my ones that I would like to see more. And everyone else, thank you for joining us today. And maybe today you'll do something like Adam said, that thing that you like, try to do it more consistently to tap into your authentic self. So, sending you all so much love, and I will see you next Tuesday.